Tarik Cohen starts off the 2021 Bears season on the PUP list for training camp. Let's talk about why he's there and what that could mean for the Bears moving forward. And it starts now. Before I continue with the video, please like the video, please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly. We don't want you to miss a thing, so make sure that you hit that bell. As you can see, I am not in the studio still yet. We're getting stuff moved down there though. Expect to see us in the studio for the live show this week and for views. Me and Kid will be dropping that a little bit later this week. But we will be dropping views this week, so stay in tune with us. Now, on to this Tarik Cohen news. Tarik Cohen and Daz Newsome, don't want to forget about Daz Newsome, have both been placed on the physically unable to perform list starting into training camp. Now, going on the PUP list this early, the Bears can take them off at any time during training camp. It's not like there's a week restriction where they have to be on it for a certain amount of weeks during training camp, so that is a bright sign. But the part that is a little bit concerning, especially with Tarik Cohen, is that the concerns about Tarik, according to my sources inside the Bears organization, are still that ACL, still the fact that from what I'm hearing, he's still been a little bit stiff coming off of that, has not done a ton of running, has not done a ton of overly exertive activity, just still doing the basics of rehab, trying to get his knee back to 100%. Listen, that's scary going into the season, seeing as how early Tarik got the injury. He sustained the injury in week 3 of last season. We pretty much played all of last season without him. He went into rehab, and we're starting off this season here, and he's still not able to do a ton of extracurricular with that knee yet. And I think that that's something that Bears fans should absolutely be concerned about going into this season. Now, does that mean that Tarik won't be able to play at any point this season? I'm not hearing that just yet. I'm not hearing anything on that he's out for the season, that the knee is to a point where we're not going to see him for most of the season. I'm just hearing right now that yes, like last month at OTAs, he is walking around, he is going through some basic drills, but as far as running, as far as contact with pads on, he is not there yet. Now, what does that mean for the Bears going forward into this season? Before I give you guys my opinion, I want to know your opinion. Let me know in the comments below, what could losing Tarik Cohen this season really mean for the Chicago Bears moving forward? I'll be down there talking with you as well. Now, with Tarik Cohen out at least for training camp, there's still some concern, like I said, about him moving forward into the season. Matt Nagy was hopeful that he'd be ready by training camp. We're not there yet. What could that mean if this does linger into the season? We're talking about a guy who, listen, does he touch the ball a ton in comparison to the offense? You'd say no, but what he does when he does touch the ball is what makes such a big difference for the Chicago Bears, especially coming in with Allen Robinson, with David Montgomery and Darnell Mooney all back to 100%, adding in Justin Fields into that mix, or possibly Andy Dalton, just somebody who's going to consistently hit you in the hands. That makes a difference for Tarik, because when Tarik does touch the ball, we know that he can do something magical at any point in time. He's that kind of player. He's able to get out in space. He's able to find space, and I think that Matt Nagy really loses something without having him there in that play calling, especially without Anthony Miller there as well. Now you're now at a point where you're going into a season without 2 of your overwhelming speed guys on offense, the guys that can just really blow the top off you, the guys that can make a move to keep going forward, the guys who are going to be tough to catch and really make things tough for a defense. Those are the guys that you really want to get in, especially with what we're hearing about Justin Fields' deep ball. If Justin Fields does start more of the games than Andy Dalton does, that deep ball is really put on display when Tarik Cohen, or the player that Anthony Miller was for the Chicago Bears, is able to really just take the top off of a defense, take off downfield, and get open. And the other thing that it takes away from the Bears is kind of the long handoff. You know what I'm saying? David Montgomery's not really a long handoff guy. David Montgomery is a great patient running back. He waits for the hole to get there. When we saw a lot last season, when the hole does open up, he hits it hard. He's running through. He's going to attack. He's not slowing down. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's what you'll see more from David Montgomery, but you're not going to see really the long handoff, the short toss to the left, trying to get or the bubble screen. You know what I'm saying? We know Nagy loves his screen passes, but with Tarik Cohen, that pass is able to make something happen because he has that speed. Even if a play does break down, he's the human joystick. He has that ability to get himself into space, find himself space, and make a play happen for forward yardage. And so without him there, you lose a chunk of your playbook that we know Matt Nagy loves to go to, and something that you really thought could have given, especially with a young quarterback. You want to see him put the ball in the air, you want to see him go downfield, but you also want to have as many check down options for him as possible. Tarik Cohen is a big part of that, and so as of right now, like I said, he can be activated at any point off of the PUP list during training camp. But from what I am hearing, the mobility that he's been able to display, the things that he's been able to do, he just hasn't been able to get that knee to a point where they feel comfortable putting him out there in full pads and full practice and him being able to go after it. But as always, I want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. How will the Chicago Bears fare without Tarik Cohen if this does linger on into the season? As always, guys, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with me. It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bears content. Click the links here or check the links in the description below. And yo, y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.